Here.
Council Shalata.
Here.
Council Capone.
Here.
And we have Council Capri.
Here.
Mr. President, we do have.
Let's stand, salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
All right, the first piece of business is a letter of my counsel, Michael Marchese, as president, that the petition for fortune teller license from Debbie Green at 1936 be reviewed.
Is the petitioner in the audience?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Counsel.
We had the, she has a, outstanding, bill. Can we deny this license at the moment until everything is up to date?
I believe we can. I
I'm
believe
sorry
we
if
have
I'm
that
asking
right.
questions, I don't know, the
Mr.
legality.
Clerk, is that, I think we have that right, don't we now? That was, until all bills are paid up?
So I make the motion that, we do not renew our license until all bills are paid.
So, Mr. Chairman, we have a communication
Susanna? Yep.
from a Counselor Hanlon.
Mhm.
Would it be proper to read that also? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just seen this, when was this sent to us, or did this come today? Came today? Is Michael here? Yeah. We're gonna wait and see if the, our city clerk's here, but I do, Counselor, believe that, that's, I know it's one of the licensing committee rules, adopted from the Board of Aldermen. Nice to see you, Mr. Clerk.
John?
You really? Mr. Clerk, if you don't mind, there was a question from Councilor Florio that there is a $220.62 past due for water and sewer on 1936, the fortune teller license, and the question came up, can we deny the license until that is paid?
They are not the property owner. We usually don't hold it against the tenant for the property owner, but that's up to the board. It's up to the
It's our
council.
discretion.
That
Councilor
was
Capone.
gonna be my question, because it came in the committee, and I just read that communication as well. So the bill that we're talking about is a bill that's the responsibility of the landlord?
But we don't know.
Well, water
If
and
it's
sewer.
water and sewer, it's the
I believe
landlord.
so.
Is that the concern?
The night of the meeting, when this came up before us, was that your concern?
Well, the concern is to make sure they had no outstanding bills. And
Okay.
now this I don't know if it's the landlord's responsibility or her responsibility. Sometimes commercial property is
I
triple
agree.
net.
Yeah.
Is triple net where they do have to pay the water and sewer. So can we lay this on the table until we find out what, do we have
Or
a
it could be
lease on
approved until
record?
it's paid. It could be approved, but not issued until it's paid. You can approve
Which
the
would-
license, but not issue it until it's paid.
Mr. Clerk, how long have they been in business?
Is this the fortune teller?
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the park.
2 years.
2
I want to say
years?
2 years, maybe 3, yeah.
And they've been up to date with everything else?
Yes.
We could do that, Counselor Rosa, we could do
So we
that.
could approve it, but not issue it until
Not
the
issue
bill
it
is paid.
until it's been paid.
When someone comes up for a petition, do we have a copy of their lease, so we do know if they have a triple net lease or not? Is that something we should consider maybe in the future? I'm sorry if I'm going on.
I don't know, you know what I mean? And sometimes I don't want to get into the privacy of leases, how they're conducted with, with personal matters and business matters. I don't know if that's really,
Well, for giving them
Agenda.
licenses to operate in the city and the bills are not paid, then I know it's,
I think if we take the action that the city clerk, I believe, has recommended, that'll get this licensee to go to her landlord, or his landlord, and say, listen, they're not, they've approved it, but they're not gonna issue it. It's gonna put me out of business, so let's pay it. The petitioner is in the audience? Oh, okay. Oh, good. Good evening. You can come right up here, young lady, and sit next to the clerk. And just state your name and your position and what you do for this business.
Debbie Green, I'm a psychic. I do psychic readings for entertainment purposes in Edward.
Ms. Green, the question came up, we like to keep all our, cards in order. And there's an outstanding water bill. Whose water bill is that? Is that the landlord's or is that yours?
That's the landlord's.
That is the landlord's?
I believe so, yes. The only utility I pay is the gas and the lights.
Okay.
so I make a motion that we are gonna, approve the license,
Mhm.
but we're not gonna issue it until the $220.62 is paid.
I believe we can do that, and that puts a little pressure on the landlord, Mr. Clerk, correct? To have him pay that? Counselor Capone, you have any?
Well, have there been any other issues? That's the only issue that we have.
That's the only issue. So
Because
I don't think
she's been in
she's been in
business for several
business
years.
2 years.
So,
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I don't think we should hurt her,
no, I don't think so
No.
either.
But
Yeah.
this puts a little pressure on the landlord, so.
So how does that play out now? The license, has it expired yet, or it's in the process
It-
of expiring?
It must be in the process of expiring.
Yeah.
Michael?
I think so, I think
At the first of the year, yes.
First of the year.
First of the year it expires, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
And-
it's
already
now
expired.
expired.
Right.
And what do we have, a grace
We
period?
usually give them a grace period as long as they've applied.
60 days
She
or something
has
like
indeed
that?
applied, right.
Yeah, okay.
And typically, it's a 60-day grace
Mhm.
period?
I-
Is that what-
Somewhere
yeah.
30 days max.
Yeah.
30 days max?
30
Yeah,
days
we
max.
try to leave it at 30.
So, here's my concern, though. If we're at
Mhm.
30-day max, we have an individual who's running a business,
Right.
who's taking care of what she's supposed to be doing. The landlord's allegedly not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I don't want to see the business owner get caught in the middle. What other alternatives do we have other than allowing and just kind of holding it over until it gets squared away?
What we could do is issue it and let the property owner know that, I mean, the best we could probably do is say that next year it won't be. If this, if an outstanding bill exists.
And this is, the amount that we're talking about, is this just a quarterly bill? It doesn't sound like a very large.
Yeah,
No,
it doesn't,
amount.
yeah.
Doesn't.
So,
No.
what, unless there's any other questions for the guest.
I don't have any,
I,
do you have a question for the petitioner?
well, I don't have a question for the petition, but my recommendation would be to give a 60-day temporary until this is paid. So that way we don't hurt her, but at the same time, we want the owner to know he has to pay his bill. If that's
We
an
have that
option.
authority, sure.
Do we,
If that's an option, Mr. Clerk.
I think,
I don't
yeah.
want to hurt any business
As a
person.
licensing authority, you always have that,
Okay.
and does that 60 run from the expiration date?
from the date it's approved.
From the date's approved? Okay,
Right.
so it'd be 60 days from today.
Right.
And then
Well,
communicate-
60 days from next Monday.
Okay, and then, yeah, well, that seems like that's a good thing to do. That way, we could get in touch with the property owner and get compliance there, and at the same time, not hurt a local business person.
At the same time, it could be paid ahead of time
And then it goes away.
by Monday.
Yeah.
He could pay it by Monday, probably now.
And I want to say this to you, Counselor, we all have water bills in commercial properties. I know we have the mayor's office here. They're going over with all these new meters that they're putting in, and a lot of the commercial businesses are getting caught with now actual readings when they had estimated readings, so it's really a hoop. And I know the city's trying hard to collect those funds, so, we can speak to the mayor's office, you can call the mayor's office and say, listen, where do they stand, where are we with this? But it doesn't seem like it's a lot of money.
No, it doesn't seem like it's a lot of money. That's why I can't understand why it's not paid. If it was a large amount, I think we could give the owner a little more chance.
And it might be an oversight.
But
Yeah.
it could be an oversight, and so this is something that we could correct on the oversight, if it is an
And,
oversight.
and if I may, Mr. Burley, you just said to me that our ordinance states that it has to be paid before this is issued?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even on a temporary basis?
So we can go
Or-
back to
or
approving
formal
it,
approval.
keeping her in business, and then,
Yeah, basically, you issue approval
Temporary, right.
for pending, basically pending receipt.
So it's pending receipt, but are we issuing a temporary
Yes.
license that's going to be active in effect so she can conduct business?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and then all we're doing is waiting for that time period to run. Either it's paid or
And
it's
then
not
we'll
paid.
issue
If
a-
it's not paid, then we need to deal with it again.
There'll be no need for a vote, we'll just
Okay.
issue that a full-time one be issued at that time.
so your motion is to approve the license and not issue it?
That was
Favorable
my, that was
action?
my, that was my
Okay.
first motion, and,
Do I hear a second on that?
On just
Okay,
clarification
yes.
on that.
Yep.
I just want to make sure what we're doing is we're allowing operation for that 2-month period while we're waiting.
We're gonna, from the motion that I thought I was hearing here was that,
The temporary was going to be,
that a temporary license would be issued until such time as the water bill was paid, then a permanent one would be.
I'd like to make that in form of.
yeah, so
Okay.
I
For 60
rescinded the
days.
motion.
Okay, so you second it, that
That's,
this,
that, yeah,
Yes.
this committee recommends favorable action until the water bill is paid for
A temporary license, 60 days.
temporary license until a
Right.
permanent one is issued when
And
it's
then a
paid.
permanent license can be issued.
All
without
those
a
in
further
favor?
vote.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it.
Thank you.
The clerk will explain that to you, just what we did.
Item number 2, this order by Council Michael Marquez as president, that a petition for a second-class water dealer license from Bigger Diesel Injection Incorporated at 50 Mystic Street.
Petitioner here? Sir, could you state your name and your position?
Louis Ortiz, General Manager, Boston Freightliner, Vigor Diesel Injection.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, he's brought all his
Yeah.
plans in, everything has been...
Everything is fine. The only problem we had with this one, and it turns out that it was a mistake that they didn't catch. It's supposed to be for 4 cars. There were 3 separate, yeah, they have like 3 or 4 licenses down there on different properties. And I think what they did was just copy one to the other, because it was so much paperwork. And it said 4 cars, somewhere else it said 20, somewhere else it said 50. 50 was the other one, the first class. It's 4 cars, they know it is, and simply made a mistake on on filling out the forms. But we didn't want to let it go with 20 cars on it when it's only licensed for 4.
For 4.
Right, and they know that. It was just so much paperwork to do that they ended up copying it from one to the other, and it ended up saying 50.
Is the form corrected now?
No, it was just the application. The bond's fine. All their other paperwork is fine.
Do we
It's
need
just
it,
it's only supposed to be 4.
do we need it formally amended, or is it?
No, it's fine. The application, they know it. It's for 4. It's just what we were gonna issue it for.
Okay.
And the
So
request was 50.
all the paperwork is in order?
Everything's
Everything looks
fine.
good?
It's 4 vehicles.
Okay.
Favorable action.
Yeah, I second the motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded for favorable action. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it.
Take a motion to adjourn?
Second motion.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. You have adjourned.
I don't want to adjourn.